We'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. So welcome back, team, and we are studying chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. Just because we have met after a long time, a quick review of chapter 3 so far is that chapter 3 starts, as Puchigudu would say, after chapter 2 and before chapter 4. Right? And anyway, he with a question from Arjuna that I understand about Karma Yoga. I also understood about Jnana Yoga that you have mentioned, especially in the end of chapter 2. Bhagavan, you spoke about um, the Siddha Prajna Lakshanas. Now, obviously, Chitta Prajna Lakshana is the goal, and that's better. So I want to be like that. Why are you asking me to do Karma Yoga? I mean, you're also are talking about Karma Yoga, and in as part of Karma Yoga, that means what I need to kill all these people, etc. This seems to be Gora. Okay, it seems to be a terrible thing for me. So I'm a little bit confused. So please help me out. When that is said, Bhagavan said, okay, Arjuna, see, it is not like these are two different paths, but these are two different milestones on the same path. So your starting point, starting point for all of us is Karma Yoga. By performing Karma Yoga to the best extent possible, we are going to clean up our mind. That is Chitta Shuddhi happens. When Chitta Shuddhi happens, that Chitta Shuddhi will lead us to where our mind, when there is chitta shuddhi means purity of mind. Purity of mind means what? There are two aspects. Right now, when I am I mean, like when I am idle, my mind is going around so many things. Even when I'm not busy, it is thinking about so many things that I don't even recall what thought I had 2 minutes ago. Okay. If I walk into a room, I forget why I walked into the room. Okay, so why all of that, it is what it is talking about is the speed of flow of thoughts, okay, where we are unable to keep up with the speed of flow of thoughts. That is one aspect. Okay, this speed, okay, the speed of flow of thoughts are going to be controlled through Karma Yoga. Why? Because A, we are going to do only what is ordained to be done by us. This is our Niyata Karma alone we would be doing, nothing other than that. And the attitude which we are going to do is that Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. This is for Ishvara. This is for Bhagwan's sake I am doing. Then, as a result, why should I worry about what result would come? Bhagwan will take care of the result. I must perform my duty. So then, this process, what happened is that I am consciously not slowly letting go of things that I need not worry about. I'm letting go of what result would come. So that means that I'm getting rid of the anxiety, etc. Right? And then whatever comes, it is Bhagwan's prasada. So the mind is calmed down. So that way, what happened is that the speed of thoughts are going away. Right? I mean, like, so that means that mind is slowing down. Mind is slowing down. This is not a bad thing. The speed of thoughts are slowed down. So I can have a control on what the flow of thoughts. That is one. Now, the other part of Chitta Shuddhi is that today I have lot of, I mean, like, I don't even know how many good thoughts and how many bad thoughts I have. I can't say, like, I have a lot of bad thoughts or I have a lot of good thoughts. No, I cannot say because I have no idea what is my next thought is going to be. Now, what I need to do is that I must divinize my mind. Divinize my mind means what? The negative thoughts have to go away. Negative thoughts, obviously, I cannot say like a stop thinking negative thoughts. That's not going to happen, right? I mean, we all know the moment someone says, don't think of monkey, that's when the form of monkey appears in our head, right? So we cannot control our thoughts, but what we can do is that we can control our actions. What we are doing, controlling our actions means in the Karma Yoga alone, we are trying to not perform any Nishiddha karma. Nishiddha karma is prohibited action. We are trying to stay away from Nishiddha karma and then we are trying to stay away from even Kamya karma. Kamya karma is desire-based actions. By staying away from these two, Rasavarja happens. Rasavarja means dropping off all the rasa, taste for it. Okay. When, say, for example, someone is drinks alcohol. Okay, that's an example. Now, this person decides, I'll stop drinking alcohol. Now, when he decides to stop drinking alcohol, if there are bottles of alcohol at his home, it is kind of like a difficult resolve to keep. He may have the proper resolve, but whenever he sees that alcohol bottle, he misses something, right? Oh, I wish I had that like that. But initially what you have to empty the house of all the alcohol bottles, etc. And probably second step is don't go wherever alcohol is served, right? Like that you avoid the presence of alcohol for a long time. When happens, what happens is that you may overcome your need to drink alcohol, okay, consume alcohol. That probably is solved. But it happens is that over a period, but occasionally mind would be saying, remember the day when I went there and I had these drinks with these people at that resort. Oh, that was so good. So like that, like the mind keeps on going. So still the at thought level, they would be there. But eventually those also will drop away. Okay, but that takes time. Okay. So see how Karma Yoga is cleaning up both mind from the speed of thoughts as well as the quality of thoughts. Both of them are cleaned out. So that means what happened is that the negativity in our thoughts, we call it as tamas, right? So the tamasika vichara is gone. And the second thing is that the Rajasika Vichara, Rajasika, like I need to do this, I need to do that, all of that, that is also gone. So the Sattva alone remains. So this is the primary reason why Karma Yoga is to be done. Now, Bhagwan gives so many arguments about why Karma Yoga has to be performed, right? I mean, he says that when Brahmaji created this world, he asked everyone to perform Karma Yoga. And when you are performing Karma Yoga, everybody is going to be benefited. Okay, so today, I mean, uh, Swami, I mean, Puja Guruji, like in one of his discourses on Karma Yoga, he would say that today we all fight for rights.
Mm,
Okay, so these rights, okay, women's rights, men's rights, workers' rights, the children's rights. Okay, and we do riots for these rights. Okay, but what happens for along with our rights, we also have responsibilities.
mhm.
Okay, now if every one of us perform all our responsible, discharge all our responsible properly, like nobody needs to fight about our rights.
Yes.
Okay. Only it is only when we are looking to fight for our rights, but not discharging our responsibilities. That is where the problem is. So here, Prajapati's Brahmaji says that you should all take care of yourself. Okay, no, not you. I mean, like everyone around you. So, what is the procedure to take care of each other and everything is yajna. Okay, the
Mm,
concept yajna is introduced. Yajna is what? For a higher purpose. Everybody comes together for a higher purpose, leaving their individual desires and needs aside, and they perform this huge, big, monumental task. When that huge, big, monumental task is done, the benefits are accrued and the results are enjoyed by everybody. So think about things that we cannot do on our own, even if you're a millionaire. Maybe if you're a billionaire, maybe you can, but think about people who are laying roads, etc. Right? So this is our tax dollars that is at work. And on my own, can I fix the road to my home from downtown? No, I cannot. Okay. But all of us have put together some money. And today, probably like depending on the priority, Atulji's road on Atulji's street might have got fixed before the road on my street. So be it. Okay. So, but eventually all roads are going to be fixed and everybody is going to get the benefit. So this is when the government works fine. Well, right? So this is an example of yajna, spirit of yajna. So in this way, yajna is, so we must perform these yajnas. And we talked about Panchamaha yajnas, right? So that is how we need to do Brahma yajna. Brahma yajna means study of our scriptures and keeping the values of those scriptures alive and living those values and passing on them on to our future generations. So that is called Brahma Yajna. Then it was Deva Yajna was recommended. Deva Yajna is taking care of all the ecology all around us, right? Whether it is trees, whether it is I mean like plants or animals or anything like that, as long as we have one earth and only when we take care of earth, it can take care of us, right? It is not about we save the earth, but by performing seva to earth, when earth has got proper rains, proper greenery, the proper environment, that is when we can live. Otherwise, the humanity will perish. Earth will be fine. Okay, it will come back to its natural old state after a couple of centuries. After all, the entire humanity perishes. So it is not that we are trying to save the earth. Rather, we are trying to save ourselves. Okay? So this is a Deva Yajna. Then Pitru Yajna. Pitru Yajna is about all our ancestors, whatever they have taught us, right? Those values that they taught us, not just values, but there's the skill sets they taught us. Okay? We take that culture and push pass it on to our next generation. The way how we pass it on to the next generation is by us ourselves, we ourselves following those traditions properly, faithfully, with proper understanding. When we do that and when we convey the intent and meaning behind of every ritual and why we are doing what we are doing, what does it mean, etc., then children, when they see it from their childhood and understand why we are doing it, they are convinced and they continue to do. Right? So this is the Pitru Yajna. Then Nru Yajna, that is Manusha Yajna, that means that treat everyone in this world as our related to us, are associated with us one way or other, because they're all Bhagwan's Srishti and take care of the people around us. And finally, uh, Bhuta Yajna, that is like take care of all your creatures, like, whether it is birds in your backyard or whatever, right? So, bees or trees, as long as you are taking care of them, they will also take care of us. So, this is how the yajna was, the concept of yajna was also come into the play. So, this way, when this is done, whenever the results of this yajna, right? Yajna Shishta. Okay. That Yajna Shishta is the result of the Yajna. When we uh, take that Yajna Shishta as the prasada from the god and then we enjoy, that's when there will be a harmony in the universe. And then he says that Annat Bhavanti Bhutani Annam. The food comes, is the cause for Bhutas, because Bhutas meaning Jivas, because all Jivas come from food. And Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. Okay? And the Annam, the food, comes from rain. Okay? Because actually, like I was thinking about the shloka that day when we were working in our backyard. The in winter, like the entire grass was out. Okay, it was browned out, and actually, like we did not even have grass in some areas in our backyard. And then for past 2 to 3 weeks, it started raining, and suddenly we see the greenery on earth all around. And where did this come from? Okay, where did this go away all these days? It is because that all the bhutas, right, all the jivas, whether the plants or whatever, they are coming and through rain. And the thing is that that food, those trees give us life to rest of the animals and humanity. And when those animals thrive, humanity thrives. So, in fact, in one of the Upanishads, it said that with rain comes jivas. All jivas fall from skies onto earth through raindrops. That's what, like, I mean, that one of the Upanishads says like that, right? So, and this Parjanya, okay, happens because of yajna. Because if you think about rain as something that it is coming from cosmos as a gift, because when the rain falls, it is not going to say, I'm going to fall on Venkat's house and I will avoid his neighbor, right? Then when the rain comes, it is going to bring the um, that abundance to everyone around us. So is like the result of the yajna alone. So yajnat bhavati parjanya, and yajna is only possible because of karma. So hey, Arjuna, you must perform karma. So this is the thought process that we were going through. And and like towards the last sessions, what we talked is yadidacharati shrestha tattad devetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokasata anuvartate. So what happened is that because of all of this, what we need to do is that how we first perform karma is so that we become role model. Okay? Because Arjuna, you are a role model. Okay. Arjuna is as a king, as a prince, as a warrior, great warrior. He could be role model for so many people. And whatever he does, everybody is going to follow. And therefore, what he sets up the standards, okay, because he's the Shrestha Purusha. Okay. And because he is the Shrestha Purusha, he is setting up the standards for somebody else. So because other people are looking at you, Arjuna, you must stick to your standards. Now, and that means what? All of us are the torch bearer for someone in our life. There is always pretty much for everyone, even for if even a 5-year-old boy or a girl for that matter is a torch bearer, is a Shrestha Purusha for the younger sibling who is a 3-year-old, who is noticing how the older sibling is doing and who is imitating that older sister or older brother. So, like that. And then, as a parent, whatever I am doing, my children are watching and they are analyzing and learning about how to deal with this world. So, as a result, what happened is that no matter who we are, no matter how insignificant we think we are role models for someone at some point, somewhere. So please be aware of it and pull up ourselves to the highest standard that we can aim and attain. And then Bhagavan says, see, when I'm saying this, Arjuna, I am not saying it as a lecture. Okay, I'm actually doing what I'm saying. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanamaptat avaptavyam varte evacha karmani. See, the thing is that as Bhagwan, as Ishvara, I had nothing to do
mm,
because Ishvara is not bound by karmas, Ishvara is not bound by vasanas. So what? See, you and I are bound by vasanas and karmas, and as a result, we have to perform something or other because our vasanas wouldn't let our vasanas and previous karma phalas are not letting go us to sit still. But Ishvara is not like that. Okay. Yet he is doing it, okay, even though there's no kartavya, there's no responsibility for him, he is performing all of this. Why? यद्यहं न वर्तयाम जात कर्मणि अतीन्द्रतः मम वर्तमान वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः. Because if I don't do as Ishvara, my duty is children are, I mean, like the humans, etc., they also don't follow their duties. So I must perform all my duties as they are. Oh, what do you mean by Bhagwan is doing duties? Like what kind of duties did he do? Okay. Is that if you look at all the cosmic laws that are there, they are always perfect and they don't change. Okay.
indeed,
Right? So if you take a simple equation such as force equals mass into acceleration, that force is equal to mass multiplied by acceleration, no matter where it is, whether it is 100 years ago or 500 years ago or now. And it is not going to say, today I feel lazy. So it is not, it is 80% of mass into acceleration. No, it is not going to do like that, right? So whether it is the gravity or anything like that, all the cosmic rules that we take, all the scientific rules that you look at in this universe, they all are very precise and they are not changing, unchanging. Now you can say like, hey, what about these rains, etc. Again, these rains, etc. They are today, I mean, like they are based on so many factors, and we only know top 5 to 10, or like top 10% or 20% of those factors, and we don't calculate for all the 100% factors, because of which we don't have a full understanding about when and where it is going to rain, right? And whatever. So, uh, because of that, we don't have total understanding about when it is raining, etc. But they're all scientifically perfect, right? So उत्सीदिषु इमे लोकः न कुर्यां कर्म चेतहं सङ्करस्य च कर्ता स्याम् उपहन्यामि वा प्रजाः. So he says, because if I don't work, utsiyam ime lokaha na kuryam karma chetaham, if I don't work, these lokas will perish. Okay. And sankarasya karta syam uhanyam eva prajaha. Okay. So, and then not only they perish, but they'll also all mix up. Right? Okay, so suddenly imagine if yeah, I mean, this is again Pujaguru J. Swami Tejamananda, this example, right? So you're sitting in a car. Now in a car, there's an engine, there's a gas of electricity, whatever, and there's a power source. That's one way or other. And so many components must come together and work together. So if you press an accelerator, the vehicle should go fast. If you hit brake, it should go slow. Now, if you hit brake and then it starts accelerating more, then imagine the chaos. Imagine the amount of fear that you are going to have. How am I going to stop this vehicle? Where am I going to do? What am I going to do? Can I hit this one or that one without getting hurt too much, etc. So that's a very big fear we are going to have, right? Whether it is a car or whether it is a malfunction in a engine, airplane engine or whatever, right? So it is uh, the moment we hear malfunction in an aircraft, right? We are, even if the flight was already delayed by 2 hours, we would be glad to get out of that and wait until someone comes and fixes, verifies and fixes it. At that time, we won't think that, okay, so I'm going to get delayed. Okay, we'll take risk. Let's go. Let's fly. We are not going to say that, right? So that is the level of perfection
Mm-hmm.
we expect from the world around us. And that level of perfection is done by Bhagwan. But on the other hand, what about me as a human being? Am I able to stick to that level of perfection? So if I don't do, what happens is that Varna Sankara happens. Varna Sankara means uh, people typically understand it as Varna Sankara means it is a mixture of castes because sometimes Varna means caste, but here it is not that. But Varna means color. Color mixture happens means what happens is the gunas are also called as varnas because sattva, rajas, tamas, where sattva is considered white, rajas is considered red, and tamas is considered black. A mixture of them happens when we are not alert. See, the thing is that, for example, what happens? Um, there's a word called pramada. I hope you know the meaning of pramada. Do you know?
Alas versus pramada. Laziness versus pramada. Yeah.
No, pramada means accident. Okay,
Oh,
danger. Okay, accident.
but isn't that word pramad versus alas?
Pramada, Alasya, Nidra, those three are the uh, lakshanas, characteristics of tamas.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. No.
Pramada, Alasya, Nidra.
Yeah.
So, Pramada, see, the thing is that, like, so this tamas is, if it is considered laziness, Pramada means what? Prama means measure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Prama means measure. And when Prama is measure, what happened is when Pramada is incorrect measure.
Mm.
Okay, meaning in your measurement there is a mistake was done. That means what? Miscalculation. Okay, so that's what pramada is. Why did that miscalculation happen? Because of that laziness. Okay, and when that miscalculation happened, what happened? Okay, so now you see the meaning of pramada being an accident. Okay, I thought that when I hit brake, it is going to stop at this point, but that was a miscalculation. Instead, the car has gone this far.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that the other person is going to stop here, but I miscalculated his intent, and instead of him stopping it here, he stopped here. Okay. So what happened? Obviously, both cars did not stop where they were supposed to. I mean, because of it's not like the cars did not stop where they were supposed to. The operators did not stop the car where they were supposed to because there was a miscalculation, and that miscalculation has led to a disaster. Okay, so the sattva guna. So when you are driving, for example, you should have clarity of mind. Sattva should be there, right? And alertness should be there because alertness is also a factor of sattva guna. Now, if there is a Rajas comes in there. Okay, Rajas comes in there means what? There's a heated argument is going on with the passenger in the seat. Okay, with the passenger. Then what happens? The Sattva Guna is lost. Because Sattva Guna is lost, okay, Rajas has become predominant. Tamas will enter in a back door because now where my focus must be there, should have been there, is not there anymore. Okay, so this is what you call as the Varna Sankara, mixture of Varnas, mixture of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. And when those happen, what happens is that if the combination, when that mixture, see the thing is that when you say mixture, in actually like in yeah, like even if you go to Indian stores now, here, even here, yeah, you have like different types of mixers in Indian store groceries, right? So there could be like a Chennai mixture and
Oh yeah.
Hail mixture.
okay. Yeah, so many mixtures are there. Hyderabad mixture is there, hot mixture is there, garlic mixture is there. Now, if you look at the contents of all of them, there will be like peanuts and some bundi, some I don't
Chana
know
dal. Yeah.
sticks,
Janagan, yeah.
some save, right? So these are the primarily three or four ingredients and some spiciness, right? These are the top four or five ingredients, and depending upon how you mix them, suddenly it becomes a Thrissur mixture, suddenly it becomes Kerala mixture, suddenly it becomes Chennai mixture, Punjabi mixture, whatever, right? The same
Mm.
five, six ingredients, depending upon the
That's.
amount of the proportions, they keep on changing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, these three gunas are only three: sattva, rajas, tamas. But depending on the mixture, like in the proportions, okay, you see this entire world is just understand, right? From the best person in the world that you think is to the worst person in this world, to the smartest person, to the dumbest person, whichever, and anything in between, all of them are just different mixture of different proportions of these three gunas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And that like, you know, what? That's all it is? Yes, it is. That's all it is. Right? So
Yeah.
then, so that is a problem when there is no alertness. So that is why Bhagavan is saying that I am always alert and I am ensuring from my side that there is no mixture. So that is why from the worldly creation perspective, or like from the whether you look at biology or whether you look at the physical laws of this universe, they are always without any mixture of those kind of things. Okay, they are perfect. सक्ताः कर्मण विद्वांसः यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्यात् विद्वान् तस्य सक्तः विकेषु लोकसंग्रहम्. And then Jnani doesn't need to do work, but all of us, okay, have work to do because Jnani has adhikara, but he doesn't need to do anything. Why? Because he has already become Jnani. But avidvamsa karmani sakta yadha kurvante. As ignorant people, we are identifying ourselves with upadhi, with ahankara and mamakara. So as a result, what happened? We are attached to karma phala. Okay?
Mm.
So, so what do we have? As a result, I have ego, I have pressure, I have tension, I have stress, I have everything that I can think of. So the I, how would I perform action versus how a jnani performs action? Jnani doesn't have this uh, this kind of ego. Jnani doesn't have pressure or tensions or stresses or anything like that. So kuryat vidwan asaktaha. So the vidwan is also doing the karmas. Vidwan means jnani. Ajnani is also doing karmas. But when Jnana Purusha is performing these karmas, he doesn't have any identification with upadhis. There's no ahankara, there's no mamakara. So the activity is done as perfect nishkama karma. Nishkama means desireless karma without any attachment. So then his uh, there is whatever action that he is performing is for benefit of the world. Whereas when I am performing actions, I am performing with desire. So I have a different result. He has a different result. Now, just because Jnani has got greater understanding about how to do work, okay? न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत् अज्ञानं कर्म संज्ञानां दोषे सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्त समाचरन्. So that means jnani, or like someone who knows, I mean, they should not disturb ajnani's mind. So that is the initial reading of this shloka. But what it really says is that really jnani is never going to disturb my mind, because unless there's a reason to disturb my mind, okay, because they know what they are doing. What happens is that in Ajnana also we have several different levels, right? We can be a complete Ajnani, we can be a little better than complete Ajnani, like that, like that. There's so many gradations are there. So someone ahead of me may be better than me, but it doesn't mean that he or she is the best. Now, if that person comes and tells, "Oh, Venkat, why are you doing like this? This is absolutely wrong. Whatever you're doing is waste." Okay. Then what happens? Oh man, this is waste. So then there is a concern. Okay. So, and then now this person tells, by the way, you are doing this way, but you must do it this way. This is the right way. Now, I don't know how to do this way. I only knew this way.
Yeah.
No, no, I can't move forward in this old way, and neither can I move forward in new way. Okay, and even if I'm trying to try to walk in new way, why can't I do that? If I ask, this person is not perfect, so that person doesn't know why this other, even if it is what he said is right, he doesn't know why my wrong path is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember like how our parents used to tell us in our childhood, do this way only.
Mm.
And if you ever asked why, okay, the answer would be usually in, like one or two things on our back because I said so, right? So that is, but at that time, because we did not have enough intellect, and I mean, like our intellect was still evolving at a fast pace at that time,
Enough
we
information.
we accepted it, and then we see the value of it over a period of time. But now it is going to be difficult. So then as a result, what happens is that what Bhagavan is saying is, whenever some kind of you need to correct them, it has to be done very carefully, and it has to be done any kind of evolution. Okay, from evolution. See, the thing is that I am here, I need to get here. Okay, when this kind of thing is there, trying to get here fast. So that means that what happens is that there's a lot of change that is happening at a fast pace. So that we call it as a revolution. And revolution is comes with lot of resistance. Because that a lot of resistance is there, there's also inbuilt violence is also there in this revolution.
Mm.
Okay. Whereas, okay, this is the gap, and if I'm making incremental changes and slowly and steadily making progress, this we call it as evolution, and there the uh, resistance is minimal, and we are taking one step at a time. Okay, so a proper Vidwan knows how to like understands this difference between this revolution and evolution and tries to help every jiva to evolve not slowly, at their own pace,
Mm.
okay, in a beautiful manner. Okay,
Mm.
so just like say, for example, you see a bird, okay, a flower bud. Oh, I want it to become flower immediately. So I just open the petals forcefully and say, there you go, this is flower now. It's not going to last. That flower is going to get unnecessarily ruined. So that's how it is even for us. So this is all we have covered so far in our uh, so far in our chapter 3. So
Yeah.
with that, we will go to, we'll start at least one shloka, okay, and then we'll study a little bit on that, okay. So this is the next verse is 27th verse, okay. I'll break down the words, okay. Prakrutehe kriyamānāni gunaihi karmāni sarvashaha. So in first line, there's no breakdown needed. All of them are independent words. Ahankara vimudhatma. So that word ahankara vimudhatma has got 3 words. Ahankara vimudha atma. Karta hamiti. That also has got 3 words. Karta aham iti. Okay. Manyan, manyate. The last word. Okay. So, uh, uh, please repeat after me. Prakrute kriyamānāni
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि
gunai karmāni sarvashah
गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः
ahankara vimudhatma
अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा
kartahamiti manyate.
कर्ताहमिति मन्यते.
So, in the previous verse, what happened is that Ajnanam karma sanginam. Okay, it said. Okay, so Ajnanam karma sanginam. Uh, uh, Na buddhi bhedam janayat ajnanam karma sanginam. When uh, ajnanis, karma sanginam means what? Ajnanis are attached to sakama karma. Sakama karma means karma with based on desires. Okay, so that aspect is being elaborated in this shloka. Prakrutehe. Prakrutehe is by Prakriti. And Prakriti is what? What is Prakriti? Is Maya. Maya, again, what we said, is made up of 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So Prakriti means Mayas, meaning what? Along with Sattva, Raja, and Tamas Gunatmika. Now, the thing is that, interestingly, my BMI, my body, mind, and intellect is also made up of those Sattva, Rajas, and Tamo gunas alone.
Mm.
Okay, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas are not just necessarily the quality of my mind, but even the body is made up of those 3 gunas alone. Okay, so This BMI complex, the entire thing is Prakriti. Okay. Gunaihi. So, Prakriti, we just said, is made up of gunas. Okay. This tamas. Okay. So, here, like when we said, right, this Prakriti is this BMI, body, mind, and intellect, is made up of Prakriti. The physical body is made up of tamas. Okay. Physical body is made up of tamas. Why? Because in mm, I'm just thinking, should we spend a little bit time on the evolution of the universe? Okay. So, did you guys study Tattvabodha in recent past or ever?
When we
We have some assessment of the Panchikaran and those things.
Okay. So if
Most,
you're familiar, okay, good.
well, I mean, yeah, a little
Okay.
bit.
So what happens is that Maya, so Maya is a power of Brahman. Maya is made up of these three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So then what happens is that from a evolution perspective, the first component that is created is Akasha. Akasha means space. From there comes Vayu, air. From there comes Agni, fire, meaning heat. And then comes Apaha, water, okay, meaning liquid. And from there, Prithvi. Prithvi means solid matter. Now, when these five have come, these five are called as Tanmatras originally. Okay? Tanmatra. Tanmatra means they are in their subtle form and they are not really visible. Then it so happened that these Jnanendriyas, Antarendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Pranas, all of them were created from these five elements. Okay. How did it happen? The Sattva guna of Akasha, space, okay, is used to create the sound aspect and ability to hear. Okay. Like that. Okay. So then Sattva guna of Vayu has been used to create sparsha. Sparsha means sense of touch, like that. And these are all things that are created. These uh, uh, are created at macrocosmic level. Okay. And then the sattva guna of all five elements together are taken, and manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, all of those are created. So the mind is sattva. Okay. Then all the pranas are created from the rajas aspect, okay, of these pancha tanmatras. Okay. Like that, karmendriyas are created with the combination of rajas and sattva. Now, when all of these are created, once the sattva and rajas from these five tanmatras were taken out, what is left in those tanmatras? Tamoguna alone is left. Okay. Now, this tamoguna in those tanmatras, meaning those five elements in its subtle form, they on their own could not do anything. So that is when the Panchikarna process happened. Panchikarna is each of the element remained is broken itself into, let's say, 8 pieces. Okay. Yeah, 8 pieces. And then gave one piece to each other, the other four. Okay. So 4 pieces of them of itself plus one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this together like that. So they each of them had got 4 pieces of like half of itself and 1/4 or is it 1/4? No, it is a uh,
1/8.
1/8 of each other elements is there. So when that has come, this process called Panchikarna. With that, what happened is that the grossification, Panchikarna is grossification. So until then, it was all subtle. It is invisible. Now, the grossified 5 elements have formed. So this expansion of this grossified 5 elements, now, until then, we use the term Tanmatra. Now these have become Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. So now these are the 5 great elements. And from these 5 great elements, the entire external world has come. Okay. Virat. Okay. Until the grossification, the previous process, all of them is called as Hiranyagarbha. Okay, subtle universe. And this is the gross universe. So once this gross universe have come, all the plants, all the animals, all of them with these bodies, right, with the physical body, they are all made up of tamas alone. Okay. Now, in a physical body, what happened? Okay, is it just a physical body? Okay, if it is a rock, you say it is just a physical body, so it is tamas alone. But uh, in a life form like such as us, okay, there are pranas. Okay, so these pranas are rajas. Okay, and then our karmendriyas are again like made up of rajas, jnanendriyas, and antakarna. That's all made up of sattva guna. So when we say gunaihi, prakrute gunaihi, we are talking about all of this BMI. Okay, and this entire creation is made up of this prakriti's gunas. Okay, kriyamanani karmana. So that means that what happened is that when this action is being performed, who is performing this action? It is performed by all the gunas alone. Okay. Even you say like, okay, I want this. When you say I want this, does Brahman want it or my mind wants it? Okay. My mind wants it. And what is mind made up of? Gunas. I like something. That like is a factor of mind. So that means it is a guna. Okay. When I want something, what am I doing? Either I'm asking about it. Again, the speech is what? Karmendriya, right? Organ of action. I'm asking, Chanji, can you please give me that because I want it? Okay. And if Chanji gives it, how am I taking? Through this body, which is again gunas. And suppose now if I was asking him for a sweet, let us say, okay, a sweet or a fruit, how am I eating? With hands. And who is eating? This body, again gunas, and it has given a taste. Who is experiencing the taste? Mind, which is gunas. And then the result of that may be good result. I enjoyed it. Okay. Who is saying that? Ahankara is saying it. Ahankara is what? Guna. Okay. And then what happened? Maybe that sweet is, I shouldn't be eating that much sweet. Then as a result, sugar has gone up. Whose sugar has gone up? This body sugar, guna. Okay. There's a change in body's structure because of that external object. Okay. All of the changes again within the gunas. Okay. So the happiness or unhappiness, whatever I think I'm having it at the level of mind with all of these activities, all of that, sarvashaha, all of this without any exception, what happens? They're all happening at the level of guna alone. So now ahankara vimudhatma. Okay, so ahankara vimudhatma is one who doesn't have ahankara, who is freed from ahankara. Who is that? Is okay. Uh, sorry. Vimudha Atma means no. Who? No, no, sorry, I made a mistake.
The opposite.
Vimudha Atma meaning like he is full, like who is completely enveloped with that ajnana that I am, this ahankara is Atma. When such a notion is there that okay, this ahankara is me, obviously, like what is happening? He
I'm doing.
When the body is enjoying, I think that I am enjoying. When the body is suffering, I think that I am suffering. When the mind is, sad, I'm thinking I am sad. When the mind is happy, I'm thinking that I am happy. Like this, what happens is that I am the karta. I am the karta. Karta aham. This is what I am thinking. So
Karta
once I
aham.
am a karta, what happens? I do karma. When do karma? I get karma phala. When I get karma phala, I have to experience it. So the karta automatically becomes bhokta. Okay, so I am both karta and I am a bhokta, right? So this is a
Okay.
mind. Okay, so the problem is that when ajnan is like us, okay, think that we are doing something, we think that we are the doers, but the doership, the enjoyership, as well as the entire realm of action is at the level of gunas alone. Me as Brahman has nothing to do with it. So now, you see, as we are coming closer to the end of the chapter, okay, uh, I mean, like, there are some, this is not done yet, right? I mean, like, there are like a few more slokas are there, but Arjuna is going to ask a question in verse 35. But the summary of this chapter is going to end by 34. Okay, so 35, Arjuna asks a question and Bhagwan clarifies that answer, okay, for the rest of the chapter. That's a separate question. But now, as we are getting closer to this, what is happening is that Bhagwan is giving us some certain knowledge. What is the knowledge he's giving? Is you are not the doer. Okay.
Mm.
Because in Karma Yoga, how did we start? Karma Yoga, just focus on doing the right thing. So that means there, doing the right thing, which is like karma, my responsibilities alone, performing my responsibilities alone with putting everything in God's hands, right? I mean, I'm doing it for the sake of God. Okay, whatever result comes, it is Bhagwan's result, etc. In all of that, what happened is that this I, the sense of I is not removed. Okay, but as we are progressing, Bhagwan is trying to remove that. See, you are thinking that you are the doer, remove that portion also. He's coming, he's not satisfied with us doing karma yoga alone. Okay, so that is something that we are going to discuss a little bit more next week. So we're already past 5 minutes, so I'll pause here to see any comments or your thoughts.
Just a quick question, if it's a quick answer.
Mhm.
When you talk about tanmatra,
Mhm.
and then of course the grossification or panchikaran resulting into panchamahabhuta. So
Mhm.
is the tanmatra called elements and the panchamahabhuta is called elemental? Is that I'm always confused with those two words.
Uh,
Elements and elemental.
See, the thing is that like I don't recall how it is translated into English. Okay, but Tanmat understand that the Bhuta, okay, the term Bhuta or Mahabhutas or Panchamahabhutas come only after the Panchikarana.
Oh,
Before that, they are Tanmatra. Tanmatra means Tat Matra. That alone is there.
ah,
Okay? Tat
yeah,
matra. That alone. That alone is means what? What happened is that when you think about hmm,
yeah, yeah,
Akasha, so
yes,
this Akasha element alone is there in Akasha.
mhm,
There's nothing.
yeah,
Okay? Now when you look at Panchikarna, grossified Akasha, what is there? When you say Akasha, it is 50% Akasha, but one-eighth
of it,
Vayu is there, one-eighth Apaha, one-eighth Agni, one-eighth
yeah,
Prithvi. All of those are admixed are there. So these are not tan matra because all of them are grossified, all of them are mixed.
Yes.
Okay, so remember, like we're talking about Varna Sankara, so this is that kind of Varna Sankara has happened
Yeah.
here, right? Whereas there, they were in the pure form, because of that, they are in the subtle form.
Yes. Subtle form, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think subtle form maybe elements, basic elements. I am confused, but
Yeah,
anyway.
because see, the thing is that element, so in English, we cannot really translate these terms into English very clearly, because when we say element in English, it has got a particular other meaning, right? So, for example, hydrogen is an element, okay? Oxygen is an element, right? So now, iron is an element. Now, whereas here, when you're talking about elements, pancha bhutas, these are not elements the way like oxygen is an element or hydrogen is an element. Rather, these elements are what we are calling is they're elemental in nature, as in like, those are the primary building blocks in nature, of nature, in terms of the srishti, the creation. But however, there the definition of what we see as elements in Vedanta is completely different from the elements that we study about in physics, right? Because there are 108 elements in physics. 108 are like, I mean, maybe they are more now because they keep on discovering some new element, right? So there's no mapping between these elements, right? So that's why like how each author may have translated in a slightly different manner. So try to stick to Sanskrit terms, because that it means tanmatra means tanmatra alone. There's nothing else nothing other than no other thing can be called as tanmatra, or no other thing can be called as mahabhuta, pancha mahabhutas, right? So
Well, I'll call you back with some other silly questions like this. I have a few more that I want to talk about.
sure, yeah. No, no.
Okay, we'll do that.
How
Yeah.
about calling it just matter? I think that's at the gross level. It's all a matter and the spirit. I mean, we always distinguish between the two. So Prakriti is matter, and all the five elements are matter, right? And of course,
Yeah.
Purusha is, separate from that. So as we transcend all these gunas, that's we have transcended the mind, then we are at the, we have conquered the whole process, then we have realized ourselves to what the truth is.
Yeah.
And I think what was his Swami, who is the head of the Chinmaya these days? I'm sorry, what's his name? Surupananda. He gave a lecture on one of the time, it was the moods of the mind, on the gunas.
Gunatraya
I still remember that very well. He described as moods of the mind, and gave a beautiful presentation, which was very easy to follow, and explained every bit of the whole details, and made it very simple. And as we have talked about, the Maya and mind is the same thing, and it's all Maya is distortion of the illusion in the whole process. Yeah, but it gets very interesting as we kind of dissect it more and more into a lot of levels. But at the end, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I'm saying this for fun, okay? So please don't take it as right? You can call it matter as long as it matters to you. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
That's it.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So, entire Maya is matter, yes. Okay, but what happens when we are talking about Pancha Mahabhutas? We are talking about the separation and we of this matter itself is formed into like five categories, etc. Right? Because of that, they are all part of matter, but the from a naming terminology is concerned, I don't know what is the right terminology in English to call it as what is that, like to translate Tanmatra or the Pancha Mahabhutas into English properly.
That's
Because
okay.
this is one of the things that, at least in my like our teacher, like our Guru Swami Advanandaji, what he told us that don't try to translate these into English and put some names there.
There
Okay.
you go.
They are not right names. So just stick to, whenever a Vedantic term comes, stick to the Sanskrit term. Hold on to that because that's what it means.
Got
Okay.
it.
No translation can do justice. So that's what he said.
Well, that's the limitations of English language, whereas Sanskrit obviously is a much wider and profound language, in that sense. Yeah.
I mean, those words, the words in Sanskritam are meant to convey those meanings, right? Uh, Probably like that kind of a terminology was not needed in English or the Western literature. So that's why they did not come up with words for it. So maybe just like, karma or dharma have become mainstream English words. If enough Vedanta is studied, maybe these also will become part of English words as well. Who knows?
Yeah, I can make something up, sure.
Yeah. So, shall we close?
Yeah.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Hari Om.